The crater. We spent last night on the edge of antiquity, looking down through the blackness into the past, through a veil of twinkling stars so close I could smell them. This morning I sit on the edge of the crater and peek down 2,000 feet on 30,000 animals in the vastness below. Down there, life sustains itself as it has done for thousands upon thousands of years before us, and with luck and hope and preservation, will persevere long after we are gone. Today we travel into a natural wonder. Today we meet lions, as yesterday we met people who fight for life in this delicate ecosystem that is so foreign. I am constantly reminded that I am the stranger here. The Maasai welcomed us yesterday into their camp of huts made of mud and dung after the long drive from treetops to the crater's edge. They invite us to dance with them and take us inside the tiny spaces where they sleep. They have their babies here, and their babies have their babies here. They drink the blood of the herds they protect, and they weave gaily colored beads to sell to foreigners who happen into their camps. Yesterday we checked into the Sopa Lodge. A huge sign declares that they have completely run out of groundwater. What water they have is being trucked in from the crater below. Hot water is available only from 5 to 8 each morning and night. After the hot, dusty ride, I keep my eye on my watch and strip down exactly at 5, turning on the hot water. As it warms, I step in to get wet without turning on the cold, and then turn it off, doing my duty for conservation. After soaping and shampooing, I turn on both handles to rinse. Scalding water sprays over me. I jump back out of the way and frantically turn the cold dial this way and that. Only hot water flows through the shower head. I turn the hot off completely, turn the cold on full, and only a narrow stream of cold trickles from the spout down below. Try as I will, there is simply no melding of the two temperatures to make it bearable, and I am forced to turn off the hot water and squat in the tub, scooping and throwing handfuls of water from the bottom spout to rinse my hair. We are 8,000 feet above sea level, and the nights are cold here. So is the water. I am not a happy girl by the time I meet the others in the bar at the lodge. I alert the manager, who identifies the problem as air in the cold water pipes. He leaves to attend to the problem. Evidently, the rest of our group has been able to take acceptable showers. My sacrifice seems to go unnoticed. The others sip their cocktails and talk story. Coffee is delivered to my room this morning at 5:30, and after my first night's sleep of 8 full hours, I am ready to begin our all-day adventure into the wonderland of animals waiting below. At the first sip of coffee, it seems my bowel clock has also finally aligned itself. Another sip, another trip to the bathroom. Twice more, and it becomes obvious that my other dread is upon me. Montezuma has found me here, halfway around the world. I down 2 Imodium and make a mental note to thank Jack back in Puamana for insisting I take some with me. I agonize about what lies ahead in the crater below. There will be no facilities until lunch. We meet at the lodge to pile into our vehicles, and I tell Christopher of my problem. He gives me Pepto-Bismol, and I chew the tablets. Angst rises. I struggle to stay calm. I can do this. Although shaky, I load into the vehicle and sit shotgun, which the others allow me in my delicate state. There are no secrets on safari. Christopher mumbles something about an altercation between 2 of our group, and suddenly there is an explosion directed at him by Jack over a nickname he had given Muffin the prior day. As I always do when thrust in the middle of such a situation, I try to make myself as small as possible. Jack rails at Christopher and drives me to withdraw further. I begin to tremble. My gut clenches. My hand rests on the door handle, ready to bail. The argument begins to settle. Everyone loads in the vehicle, and Christopher climbs in behind me. I was wrong. I cannot do this. At lightning speed, my mind runs through the scenarios before me. I can stay at the lodge and lounge by the pool in the cool air while my partners tour the crater. The alternative is to risk an accident of monumental proportions in a desolate space filled with thousands upon thousands of wild animals as animosity hangs heavily in the air. The pool wins out, and I turn to Bwana. I'm going to have to bail, I say, and prepare to bolt. This time, Christopher only glares at me. He is recovering from the blast directed at him, and he has had enough of dealing with the safari queen with the desire to scram when the going gets tough. The glare works, and without another word, I settle back into the seat and pray as we descend to the crater below. As we rattle along the rutted road down the crater's inner slope, my mind turns again to Mom. This is where my realization begins to take shape. This was yet another test. These fears are not my fears, they are my mother's. How many times had she and my father planned trips, only to have to cancel them at the last minute because of her nausea or diarrhea? So many that my father stopped planning them. Her mind worked black magic on her body, and all manner of malaise would materialize at the promise, threat, of travel anywhere than her own home. Mom always bailed, always. But when presented with these tests, twice now I have passed. So Mother is here with me. I wipe away her fear, and I wipe away my own, and both of us are rewarded with discovery. For today, we would see how it has been for eons. Wildebeest beside zebra, beside hyena, beside jackal, beside rhino, beside antelope. We will see hippo in puddles and lazy lions napping in the hot afternoon sun. We will eat lunch in the car to prevent the birds of prey from making our lunch their own. And the greatest reward I could hope for is given to me with the announcement over the radio of one of the few words I know in Swahili, Duma. We race to where several other vehicles of tourists are watching a pair of cheetah brothers stalk an impala over the low plains. My shutter clicks, but we are just too far away for me to get a good picture. I try to focus with my naked eye and fail. Someone offers me their binoculars, and while I can focus only one eye, I content myself with peering at these magnificent creatures as they play their game of cat and mouse, far out of the annoying reach of us humans. The tears flow this time as Mom and I both watch through one magnified eye. Such grace and elegance seems impossible given the cheetah's awkward, gangly legs and lanky profile. I can barely see them, but I can feel them on their slow, deliberate stalk of the antelope. They move only when she isn't looking, and when she casts a glance their way, they lay low in the short grass. Then she looks away, and they begin again. They are headed away from us, getting smaller and smaller. I would have been content to stay all day in the hopes of witnessing a cheetah at full speed, or perhaps a takedown, but the others are anxious to move on. So this is my reward for figuring out the first part of the answer here. I have many lessons to learn, many things to figure out between now and journey's end. I have borne a gross inconvenience, and I have overpowered demons. I am slowly opening up to this land, and in doing so, I am also sloughing off fears one by one. Without realizing it, I have happily given up my shotgun seat and moved to the back of the vehicle so Jack could fend off his car sickness. With my fear of confrontation behind me and Mom's fear of sickness, I am also slowly opening up to the others in the group. Some of them still intimidate me, but I am building a bond with others and also building my own validity as a writer and as a person. Christopher asks me again when I will share Duma with the others, but I'm not yet ready to read it. Not yet, Christopher. It isn't time. We have seen Duma, but we have not yet experienced her. I will know when the time is right.